We are playing Celril, the Altmer noble. Originally on his quest to collect all the things. We were doing all the things for the little-known faction of the Vigilant of Stendar in an attempt to get more relics. And then we ended up in Cold Harbor. So here we are, working our way through everything in Cold Harbor. This is a twisted interpretation of the Imperial City. The Grey March is outside, ready to consume everything. Jigalag has been slowed at this barrier, but Molag Bal is basically anytime anyone is killed, their soul is siphoned into the barrier. We've been deactivating the barrier towers to prevent souls from being put into it, but we've got like 1 or 2 more to go. Currently, we are going to dive into this underground priory and check it out. And then we'll check the Wellspring Cave. After that, it's going to be time to actually head on into the slums and get through the Imperial City. But we haven't gotten into the Imperial City yet.
Lead the way.
Yes. This is one of the Knights of the Nine. This one was corrupted, turned into a wraith. The hell are you?
Please, stay safe. Don't push yourself too much.
Ah, okay. She's going to go see the graves of her family. That's fine. Why are the Knights of the Nine in Cold Harbor? Due to deception, a tiny fragment of their souls were stolen by Molag Bal. And, well, the result is that, let's just say, there are twisted echoes of them, and many of them we've killed. Others are here in Cold Harbor, but they're fragments, memories, kind of like the Elysians. But the Elysians were burned by the stone, so most likely all of them are here. Let's go to the underground priory. Who knows what to expect? But yes, the Crimson Stone. As we learn more about it, and the leader of the Elysian Order, the Prophet, things will go sideways. Anyway, we cleared out the first room here before we had to go. But we got more, of course. Elysian worshippers. We're working on our block skill. Because, as you can see, we're level 91. And currently, most of our skills are maxed out other than crafting. But we're working on block. Block is... actually, let's go ahead and put our perks into block. That might be nice. Block some more. And... yeah, so, it's probably going to go with timed block next. Yeah, go time blocked. There we go. So, we invested our points there. We're going to be raising block while we're here, so, as you can see. Wow, really? Okay, let's try this. That's what time block is for. I like how this guy was, did you prestige skills? Why would I do that? I have an experience mod. I gain EXP when I kill things, complete quests, discover areas. I don't have to prestige skills in order to continue leveling. That's a terrible system. I said when they implemented it that it was a terrible system. Imagine huffing paint fumes until you get brain damage so that you can relearn skills. Because... what kind of idiocy is the idea of forgetting your skills so that you can keep leveling up? It's incredibly stupid. I understand the concept of rebirthing. That is to say, where a character, say in Disgaea, for example, they would be reborn. At which point, all their skills and stats would, they basically start from level 1 again, but they'd gain a bonus to experience gained, and they'd also gain higher base stats so that they could be stronger than they actually were, you know, in at their max level state. Like, rebirthing a character makes sense because, you know, they go through a personal transformation. It's kind of like in Final Fantasy IV, Cecil, how he started over at level 1 as from a Dark Knight to a Paladin. He went through a personal transformation. Damn, that Elysian Knight, though. Look at this guy. Wow. I got him. You say a new game plus, but the story continues. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, the story isn't interrupted, but the characters go through a personal transformation. Yes. Alright. So, what I'm getting at is the legendary skill system. That's what they called it, by the way, making a skill legendary. Is just incredibly dumb. That guy summoned a fire atronach, but I murdered him. This dungeon won't pose much difficulty, I suspect. So, we will continue to get our timed blocks in. I'm very pleased that that this mechanic is something I can enjoy. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. No, a master playing like a novice is not the same thing. It's because the master is still knows all those things, ready to put them to use. It's the idea of better to remain silent and be thought a fool than open your mouth and remove all doubt. The sheer amount of things I am ignorant of in the world greatly exceeds the things I actually know about. So when there's an expert in the room, I tend to ask questions more often than try to show off to them. Why, there was one time I said something ignorant about, I think it was healthcare. And I, like, the person who was calling me out on it, I was like, okay, well, educate me. Tell me about it. And they didn't want to. So I said, fuck you then. if you don't want to tell me, like, I have no interest in being proven wrong. I have an interest in learning new things and growing as a person. All right, we got that. We stunned that shambles. We got the next one. Here we go. Come on. Whoops, hello. Come on. Blocked him. Damn. Dodge roll through. We got it. Here we go. You say you don't want to live in an echo chamber. Depends. There are people fervently trying to argue a position, and in that case, I don't care. I like being educated on things. I'm again, like, the sheer amount of things I'm ignorant of greatly eclipses the things I'm informed on. However, I'm not looking to debate things with people online for the most part. I'm more looking to learn, you know. Give me a source on that. I think I made a person earlier in the week. They were trying to argue to me that the Skyrim modding community is not toxic. and they were citing things like, the big mods, like Skywind, Sky Oblivion, Beyond Skyrim. But those are the exceptions, right? Those don't represent the Arthmores of the world and the the other individuals. Oh, cool, got a little chest here. The Tarshanas, the so on and so forth. And eventually, oh, cool, Battle Glenumbra Moors. There we go. How do I put this? The person I figured out, and I severed the conversation when I realized this person was affiliated with the Nexus. And how do I put this? They were very much. Oh, we got this guy. He's gonna shoot crossbow bolts at us. Hold on. He's a bone wheel. This guy's basically a sphere centurion that is not reskinned, but remodeled as a bone wheel. Pretty cool. See, instead of a big spike, he has a saw. Instead of a like a cannon, he has a little crossbow there. Or, hold on. I hear something. Anyway. My goodness, how's the community toxic? It's full of me. Let's put it like that. It's there are a lot of people who want to be taken seriously like professionals, but then they act in the they act against the best practices of software development, and insist on me, and it's incredibly toxic to any kind of collaborative atmosphere. The modding community, and unfortunately the Nexus has fostered this with its monetary incentives, which are kind of going by the wayside thanks to the mod list functions. You said never share this outside the Nexus, or opposite, never share this on the Nexus. Yeah, well, it's true. It's true. Many mods do say that. But you'll notice that the vast majority of modding communities do not share this kind of prima donna, sort of attitude that's grown out of the Elder Scrolls modding community. It's Elder Scrolls and Fallout, I should say. Let's just say Bethesda, the Bethesda modding community. Yeah, you said seems like everyone wants to be the main character. Kind of, yes. But how do I put this? Go pay attention to Minecraft or Terraria or Starbound, and you'll find drama. I think the only place like that had a successful paid modding community, because ultimately a lot of this, some of this came from Morrowind, all the way back. Giskard. Let's see. Hold on. Giskard Dramatica. Yes. Encyclopedia Dramatica Giskard. I can't show an encyclopedia page, but I'm looking for a specific. Let's see. Giskard 44 has been banned. Yes. That's fine. I'm just looking at. Anyway. Point is, Giskard is the earliest example of of crazy modding people. You said narcissism is rife in the modding communities and many game developments. Well, the thing is, game developers kind of get to be narcissistic because they're selling a product, right? And they're beholden to their customers to a certain degree. Uh, Game development is an art form, as much as we want to say otherwise. And it's kind of nuts. Like again, they're if you're a professional game developer and you're making a product to be sold, then you're entering into a relationship with your customers. They are beholden. You are beholden to them because they are buying your product, and they can refund your product if they don't like it. They can leave reviews and talk about how they don't like that product. Now, someone can complain about it. That's fine, right? It's almost non-existent where you have a fully published game developer who would pull their game down because they had a temper tantrum about some people sharing their game, right? Piracy, as it were. Piracy is a symptom of a greater problem. Either your game is too expensive, or like there's not a pride in ownership, because people will buy they buy Skyrim because they like the game. I'm playing the game right now. I'm enjoying the game. Speaking of which, let's click into it. I was messing around with the Giskard thing. Point is that a professional game developer, you're in a relationship with them. It is, the relationship between you said you bought a lot of games that you tried out because they were good. Yes. No, I agree, Shadowrun. I agree completely. Point is, like a lot of, as much as I want to talk about, yeah, you said in third world countries, piracy is norm. Well, I did mention that the price, right? It's too expensive. Like, third world countries, the currency valuation is hugely different. And there might be, luxury tax and such. So, I know, for example, piracy is much higher in Denmark because of its taxes. See here. But yes. What I'm trying to get at is game developers who very often lash out at their communities. That's usually because their games are failures in one sense or another. Or they've done something to trigger this. I think that the problem with the modding community is they, on average, I'm not saying everyone, because there's great members of the modding community, okay? When I say the modding community is toxic, I'm talking about toxic individuals that are prevalent within the community, many of them. I'm not talking about the large projects. I'm not talking about some of the really good stuff. I'm talking about people who have caused huge issues, or huge fusses over basically nothing. How do I put this? But yeah. You said $60 is almost what McDonald's pays per month at in a third world country. I believe that. I honestly, again, currency valuation is different, which is why I don't hold it against anyone. I will not allow piracy to be advocated here, but I understand why it is done, and it's done mostly because of issues. For sure. Could probably use Tarshana's. Oh, Tarshana was very interesting because ultimately her mods were compilations of other mods, which, she used the proper licenses. The last time Tarshana was quote unquote caught stealing was actually a guy had open permissions, realized he didn't want open permissions anymore, and tried to and DMCA'd her content after after changing the permissions on his mod. That's not how software licensing works, by the way. You can't do that. That's an invalid DMCA and tantamount to perjury under the law. Bad stuff. What I'm trying to get at is there are Tarshana is absolutely toxic. She bans anyone who disagrees with her, shuts down, her what do you call it? Closes all the comments because she can't stand any negativity. Has sued people who disagreed with her. This is stuff she's done in the past. So the idea that she sued MXR because he covered her mod, which was a compilation of other people's mods, it goes against the spirit of cooperation that her mod even exists under, right? The notion that she's using compilations of mods from other people, assembling them and showcasing them in a marketplace, that is to say, like an in-game marketplace, and then someone else showcases her in-game marketplace, and suddenly she has a problem with that. I mean, that's almost as hypocritical as I am. Jeez. Now, you can be as hypocritical as you want, but you can't stand up and take the moral high ground after you do that. You'll be like me. Yes. House modder who mocked someone else's mod? I don't know about that. I do know that Eleonora has mocked a few other people's things. I mean, she's generally Eleonora is a complete and total supporter of Bethesda. Like, she is a fan, not a critic. I am a critic, sometimes a fan, but not really. That's the truth of it. And so I understand where she's coming from, and I support her in spirit, but I vehemently disagree with her on a personal level, because I feel like Bethesda has underperformed and should be held to account, whereas she goes, yay, more stuff I like. And I am not saying that she can't do that. Like, there absolutely is space for fans, period. But it's just something where the people who tend to follow me tend to follow the kind of criticism that I lay out, and so they are incompatible with her way of thinking. Let me see here. It's been a couple of years since Bethesda released any stuff that anyone liked. What are you talking about? Fallout 76 has had updates. People have been playing those updates. What are you going on about? Elder Scrolls Online has had updates. People, they put in the Crown Store these little crows that can land on your shoulder and talk to you while you do banking and stuff. Like, this is all stuff that these people like. So what are you going on about? It's been a couple years since Bethesda's released any stuff that anybody would actually like. I'm sorry, I disagree with that statement. I don't care for much of this at all, right? Like, I mean, I want to try Blackwood. I own Blackwood, but you know, I don't really care about the Crown Store stuff. I don't really care about the Fallout 76 stuff, but I could see why other people would. People who are invested in the Bethesda ecosystem. So, like, okay, your comment just shows you're completely unwilling to buy into someone else's point of view. Like, yeah, you're just completely entrenched in your own perspective. And, you know, like, one of the things I try to do is I try to divorce myself from where I'm sitting and look at things from a different person's perspective, try to understand them and see things from their point of view. I don't always succeed. In fact, very often I don't succeed, but I'm at least making the attempt. And I can see clearly why there's a great deal of people who'd be completely happy with what Bethesda's been putting out. Not me personally. I on a personal level, I completely disagree with Bethesda's modern let's just say their modern approach to things. The fact is they haven't put out anything meaningful in the Elder Scrolls space in close to a decade now. That said, there's some pretty okay things. You said the Creation Club isn't bad. That's just it, though. It's proven to be worse than the mods that exist on the Nexus. Let me clarify this, because they have a Knights of the Nine armor that you can gets added to the leveled lists. Bandits will be wearing it. What? So you can get Knights of the Nine armor in the Creation Club, but it is functionally and visually inferior to the Knights of the Nine armor you can get in a separate mod or part of Legacy of the Dragonborn. And this is repeated across pretty much all of the Creation Club content. The survival mode is vastly inferior to either I Need or Realistic Needs and Diseases. Your choice. Both of them are better. Both of them do different things, you know, have different mod configuration menus, have different approaches. But ultimately, either one of them would be superior to Skyrim, to the Creation Club survival mode. So, when I'm, like, again, it's, at what point, you said, is it good for console gamers? That's more or less what we're getting at, is that they are, that's the only reason the Creation Club was even a thing, was because Sony refused to allow unlicensed individuals to release content on their platform. That's why you could only use mods that were scripted with no external assets on the PlayStation. And that's why they are releasing an edition with all the Creation Club stuff, because the Creation Club doesn't matter anymore. Microsoft has dictated that PlayStation is no longer to be considered when they talk about the success or failure of a Bethesda game. They've decided that that the PlayStation is no longer valid to even pay attention to. So they're going to release all their Creation Club stuff at once in an edition on other platforms. Yep. You said buy a new PC and build a new PC and get Game Pass. I mean, it's not a bad idea. what I did recently for a friend, they went to an office surplus store, got a like $100 PC. It was an office PC, right? Then they got a graphics card off of a third party site, and we just installed that into that office PC, and now it's pretty good. we It's just kind of amusing. You said good luck getting a GPU. Yeah, that's again why we used an office surplus store, just to um the GPU we got off a third party site, basically, just kind of a cheapie. Yes, you got a 1050. Yeah, I was gonna say that if I need to replace my PC for any reason, I'm going to if my 2060 Super were to stop working, I would immediately just stick my 980 Ti in there and keep running with it. Someone asked me who she is. This is Serana. It's fan art of Serana, but yeah, I'm looking at just an AMD Ryzen 5 2600X. It works well enough. It does everything I need it to. People look at the RAM and go, "Why do you have 32 gigs?" Try rendering video. I want to render video very quickly. That's more or less what's going on with that. The reason I upgraded to the 2060 Super was because there's a newer version of NVENC, that the NVENC. That's why I'm running that. It's basically the live stream itself is being run on the NVIDIA encoder. It's coming off of the graphics card, not the CPU. Anyway, let's see here. Click, 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 and we should be able to get going. All right. Anyway, distractions aside, where I went off the deep end, I was talking about the modding community and how the Nexus has fostered kind of a toxic culture. Well, here we go. What the hell? 94% resistance to all magic. Well, that's this is getting boosted by my perks. Yeah, this is like 80%. It's getting that's ridiculous. Like yeah, it belongs in a museum. Jeez, I think it's got to be like 75% or something. I don't know. I'm gonna use this portal. Enter room. Go. Bam. Anyway. You said RAM is for caching playback? Yes. Yes, it is. Anyway. Let's see. Do Oblivion and Morrowind have the same problems? I don't know what you're talking about. But the Morrowind modding community is not filled with prima donnas, if that's what you're asking. They, for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, they've embraced the this community, this idea of camaraderie, where like, for the most part, their work is open to you're for the most part open to look at other people's work and build off of it. It's the modding community itself. In Morrowind has aged to the point where the only people who are still really invested in it are these collaborative teams. So you don't have the same toxic prima donna kind of atmosphere that's been fostered in the Nexus. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be recognized for their work. They absolutely should. I made it a point to subscribe to Chesco, Ice Cream Assassin and any Scions Patreons back in the day, before 2 out of the 3 of them are gone. Ice Cream Assassin is still going strong, though. I'm happy about that. Ice Cream Assassin is the guy who did Legacy of the Dragonborn. Any Scion is responsible for like huge overhauls. I gotta block this guy. Hey, get over here. Get over here. That's right. We're working on our timed blocks. Like that. Bit by bit, we're gonna get that block skill up. Yes. Now, any Scion had was basically a game a game designer. He started with Diablo 2, completely overhauling huge systems in the game. Made something called Median XL. Median XL has been put into other people's hands, and the current Median XL is by different people. But he started it, or at least was part of the team that started it. He is an expert at game balance and design, even though all he's basically done are mods and a bit of consultation. He's still really, really good. He got kind of caught up in some drama at a recent point with a Vanilla Plus kind of crowd. See, his Patreon was basically taking off, and he was kind of competing against other mod developers, not because he wanted to, but because, you know, other people would compare his mods to theirs and say, well, this mod has something I want, that mod has something I want. And so he was being pressured by all this. Not like there was no individuals who were going, you need to do this way, but he felt pressure nonetheless by requests and things like that by his patrons. It was actually pretty stressful. His hobby, which was mod making, turned into something else. It became not enjoyable, and so it drained the passion away. He ended up looking at people who were using his mod ideas, and, you know, he ended up seeing them as kind of almost threats. You know, threats to his income, threats to his status. And he realized this at some point. He discontinued his campaigns and said, look, I'm done. I'm done with the Vanilla Plus modding. Like, I'm done trying to compete with these people. Like, it's just not going to work, right? Yes, Misanthrope. Patreon and its tiered rewards turns the hobby into a job. I looked at my Patreon and said I can't actually do this in good conscience. Like, I can't keep my Patreon running, and I shut mine down because I have other sources, number one. Number two, I want video making and streaming to be fun. And if I feel that I have to go out of my way to do other things that I don't want to do, then that isn't me having fun anymore. It's not a hobby, it's a job. That's why I discontinued it. I looked at it. I said, this isn't fair to the people who are paying and not getting the Patreon exclusive content that they deserve because they're paying for it, right? So I discontinued the campaign. And so it kind of rubs me the wrong way when I see someone who clearly has no intention of discontinuing their Patreon, even though they aren't fulfilling their obligations. I guess it rubs me the wrong way only because I personally discontinued mine. You see what I'm saying? So when people like Chesko discontinue their Patreon because he's getting a professional development job, or when someone like any Scion discontinues it because he just simply doesn't want to be beholden to his patrons anymore, I look at that and I say, you know what? Fine. Like, I respect you for doing that. Then, of course, we get kind of Morrowind multiplayer where it hasn't been worked on. And I'm like, I think the reason Morrowind multiplayer rubs me the wrong way, it's Patreon, is because I really want Morrowind multiplayer to be updated and improved. I really, like, I love what I've played of it so far. And I want more of it. I mean, there are active servers that act like MMORPGs, right? There's all kinds of stuff with Morrowind multiplayer right now. It's amazing what people have done with the scripting. But there are some fundamental bugs. And I looked at it hasn't been updated in a while, and I really, really wanted to showcase more of Morrowind multiplayer. I wanted to talk about it and everything, but right now there's a Patreon campaign for what hasn't been developed in well over a year, not actively anyway. He might have compiled one thing, like done one build or something like that, but there's no evidence of continuous development. It's definitely a hobby, and he's taking money for it. I'm just like, come on, man, that's not cool. Like, I guess it's kind of a dual thing, because I wouldn't care as much if he were taking money for not doing anything. I wouldn't care as much if I didn't want the thing he was doing or the thing he was not doing. I really want it being done. So, right, that's kind of where I'm at with like Morrowind multiplayers. I want to show it off more. I want new builds that I can talk about, but there aren't any new builds. Not like there was maybe one, And so I'm just every time someone points it out, I'm just kind of sad. You've suffered giving patronage to dead content in regards to comedians. Oh, you can't force comedy. You can't force comedy can't be front funded. It needs to. So comedy can be paid for on the backs of something you really like. Alternatively, if someone has like a comedy routine ready to go, then you can pay for it. Like, pay the door fee or the venue fee, and then they'll do their act. But if they haven't actually finished writing their material, you should not fund it. If it's if it's a comedy work in progress, you should not fund it. And there's a reason for that. Because comedy is unreliable. It's extremely unreliable. You might see something that you think is hilarious. I always get a chuckle out of myself when I think about Death Knights from World of Warcraft being called Deathicanids. It's hilarious to me. I laugh at myself because I'm thinking, yeah, I'm leveling my Deathicanids. Is that really funny though? No, not really. It's comedy is extremely subjective, and you might start building a comedy routine, only to have other people tell you your comedy isn't really that good, or you need to make more funny stuff like the first two jokes. Like the other 5 jokes are bad, but the first 2 ones are pretty good. And their comedy routine dies before it's ever been completed. That's kind of why you can't crowdfund comedy in the same way. Not unless you have a lot of smart people working together. Because one person, the muse, can die. Period. That's just the reality. Like, someone's muse can die, and that's it. That's why, yeah, it's unfortunate that you've become a patron of a couple comedians who didn't deliver, but that's how it goes with comedy. All right, let me see here. All right, you said you know a bunch of people who said please, please, please sub to my Patreon, and then you'll get a bunch of cool rewards, and they never did any of them. It's really for the if the rewards require them to do more than they are actually doing, it is a problem. It detracts from the actual production of the content that got the patrons in the first place. I've played Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard. I would probably play it tongue-in-cheek. I wouldn't play it seriously. Because I've already played it in the past. Anyway, where the hell did my follower... Oh, there he is. Hey, follow me.
Lead the way.
Good. Yeah, this is an old temple. Crumbling in the wasteland. Alright, funeral temple it is. But, you said people suffer from listening to the crowd too much. And again, that was any Scion's problem. Is he was you said Seth's content isn't really funny anymore? What are you talking about? His cultivator simulator video was very funny. I think it's subjective. I think it's very subjective. Let me see here. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Any Scion. So, Any Scion was listening to... you said novelty is important to you, whereas I just want more reviews that are funny. Like, and when I say funny, I mean in like his shitposty style of pointing out obvious things in the video game whilst still doing a review of the video game is valuable to me. Not enough for me to be a patron or anything, but you know, I went ahead and turned off the ad blocker. That was enough, you know. Give him that sweet ad revenue, that like fraction of a penny. Anyway, so back to Any-san. So Any-san was listening to the crowd. Okay, the crowd was saying we want vanilla plus. So as you know, when I play Skyrim, I am playing Skyrim. Let me pull up my my thingamabobber here. I'll pull up Mod Organizer, and you can see what I'm talking about. So, as you can see, I am running with 445 plugins. I do not have what would be called a vanilla plus anything related to vanilla at all. Like, my entire gameplay is contrary to that of vanilla. However, what's become increasingly popular in the modding space is this idea that you should create mods that are as close to vanilla as possible whilst enhancing the spirit of vanilla and making sure that it has maximum compatibility with other mods. That's why, you know, and this has become extremely important to a lot of people online because you can stack tons and tons of vanilla plus mods. You know, you can have this mod for the perk tree, you can have this mod for the races, this mod for the standing stones, this mod for the vampires, this mod for the werewolves. And if they're all vanilla plus, they won't step on each other's toes. They don't need compatibility patches. They work well on the Xbox One. Yeah. So that was where that kind of demand for very specific content is what drove any Scion away, basically. Because rather than doing what he liked to do, which was just complete and total overhauls of systems, we're talking like Ordinator dips into more than just perks. They are perks, but those perks do things. Like here, we're running with Ordinator, for example. So here's an example of something Ordinator does where it kind of steps out of its lane. If we go to Pickpocket, for example, and we were to go to Dragon Horde. No, not Dragon Horde. It would be Crime Wave. There's a specific one that I'm looking for. It would be, see, Blood Money. Was it Steel? It might be lock picking. Here we go. Hold on. Game of Fate. There are 5 Dragons of Fate hidden in random lock containers in Skyrim, right? This already violates the principle of Vanilla Plus because it adds stuff to the world itself. It's stepping outside of the role of just lockpicking, and it's actually adding content into the world that then needs to be lockpicked. So it is it's a great little piece of content, and it adds more to the game. As you go through and you grab different things, these different perks will modify how the game works beyond the scope of what a Vanilla Plus playthrough would be considered. And that's what any Scion was good at. He started with Diablo 2, and he expanded from there, creating greater and greater levels of content. The issue... Wallace, thank you for subscribing. Let me see here. Yes. I don't want to go into that room quite yet. Want to finish my thought. So, the main issue with any Scion specifically was he was just constantly subjected to people telling him, no, I don't want these massively in-depth mods. I want simpler things that follow the Vanilla Plus line of thought. And because he kept getting told that you must do this, we are your patrons, you pay, like we pay for your to have this content made, it's not a hobby anymore, it's a job. And then he got the stress of, after being forced into the Vanilla Plus niche, no one was actually telling him he had to do this. He was getting pressure by the same people who paid him money. He like, his top patrons were suggesting things to him. John, thanks for the cheer. I do appreciate it. Anyway, the notion that he absolutely... thank you for gifting that sub as well. Anyway, right. So, the notion that these people who are paying him money are asking him to do this thing. He feels beholden to do this thing. He feels pressure. They don't feel like they're pressuring him, right? They're like, you can do whatever you want, but at the same time, I'd really like you to do X. So he's feeling that pressure, and it's turned his hobby into a job, to the point where it's no longer enjoyable. So that's how one of the best Skyrim mod makers of all time, basically, for all intents and purposes, quit. He's made other stuff. He's messed around with things, updated things, but he's no longer running his campaign where he's he's trying to compete with other Vanilla Plus people, because they were pressuring him to do Vanilla Plus content, and then other people were also doing Vanilla Plus content. At which point he was pushed into a corner where he felt like these other people doing Vanilla Plus content were adversaries instead of what they should be. If you're a member of the same modding community, you should all be working together, supporting each other's content, building upon each other's work. That's the idealized version of a modding community. It's why OpenMW is so great, because you have these it's an open source project. Daggerfall Unity, open source project. The different quest mods for Daggerfall are all plain text, so anyone can go in and edit them and, make improved versions of them, fix bugs and submit them on the forums so that the original developer doesn't have to actually work. They can just, integrate the fixes. It's really cool stuff. And that is the idealized version of a modding community, is where you have this, where everyone works together and supports each other and builds off each other's work. Just the same as the original mod makers, the people who started, were building off of Bethesda's work. It's the audacity to build off of someone else's work and say, this is mine. It's like when Fudge Muppet made a video where they talked about their ideal Elder Scrolls, their ideal Skyrim, and they said something about changing Talos to Shore, right? I had already done a video like 6 months before that, like 6-8 months before that, where I said the same thing. And people flooded me with, the Fudge Muppet's stealing your ideas. And I was just like, what's wrong with you? My ideas are there to take. I am placing them out there for people to use and think about. I want other people to take those ideas, run with them, refine them, improve them, and then express that idea to someone else. That's the whole point. That's what I'm saying about the modding community. That's the idealized form of the modding community. Is the same thing. The idea that you are going to make something, and you're going to share it with other people, and those other people are going to take it, they're going to change it, improve upon it, make it better, and then share it, and repeat the process until you have something which is just, it's just really good. You said, do you think people hate Fudge Muppet because they don't know a lot about Bethesda games? What are you talking about? They play Bethesda games all the time. Hey, I know Fudge Muppet. Like, I know both Fudge Muppet and Camelworks. They are cool people. That's why I'm just like, now, they didn't know too much about the in-depth lore in the beginning, but they've been taking some time and poking at it. I do think that they've kind of run themselves into a corner where they can only really cover Elder Scrolls content. They've run out of builds and such. Don't get me wrong. Like, I do think that, that they've reached the point where what other people consider my territory, which is honestly a ridiculous notion, the idea that basically criticizing the existing material and kind of speculating on how it could have been made better. I think that's the point they've reached now. Because they've combed over everything at this point. They really have. I mean, they can rehash old content, and they can talk about it in new ways with, a new perspective. But ultimately, they've reached a point now where everything that is canon has more or less been gone over, to the point where they can only really talk in speculative terms. It's kind of sad. but that's just how it works. I personally reached a point years ago where I looked at the existing content in the Elder Scrolls and I was dissatisfied with it. I mean, I like the video games. I love the video games. Why am I not playing the video game? Because I don't want to be yapping about this while I'm going down the hall fighting things. That's a problem. But what I'm trying to say is the video games are extremely fun, but as a story, I have some real problems with it. As a setting, Tamriel is not nearly as good as it should be. The newer content is story content that is not equal to the older story content. And the older story content isn't quite as good as a lot of people remember it. But I still enjoy the games. And so that's kind of where we are. Is, a few years ago, I came to this conclusion that, well, I do want to criticize the content, tear it down, try to build it back up as, in kind of thought experiments. And that's more or less what I did. I've never stopped enjoying playing the games. But as I've kind of expanded my sphere and looked at more and more things outside of Tamriel and the Elder Scrolls and Bethesda as a whole, the more I've seen them lacking. And so that's why I simply am not covering things on a factual basis, then this happened, then that happened. Like, other people have already covered that. I don't need to cover that. Now, that said, there is a lot to enjoy in these games, and I do eventually want to talk about ESO. It's going to take me months to get this video made, though, because it contains all the content. That you love the sandbox nature of Bethesda's games. You tend to fill it with stuff that's more interesting than what Bethesda did. See, here's the issue. Okay. Mod makers have the ability to create things that are conceptually better than what Bethesda made, but they don't actually have, for the most part, the manpower, time, and resources, some of which are redundant, to make things of a superior production value. This is changing slowly. With voice synth and things like that. It's it's just kind of nuts. Okay, you said you cringe at the notion you can't enjoy all the games. You have to either like Morrowind or Skyrim. See, I enjoy all of the games in the Elder Scrolls series, including Elder Scrolls Online to a certain degree, although I'm kind of burned out on that right now. I would say that as video games, as experiences, I like the entire Elder Scrolls series. However, as stories, I have huge criticisms with everything, including Morrowind less so. Morrowind's criticisms are more or less levied to the extent where they built up this huge, rebuilding the Grand Council quest line, and they did nothing with it. Oh, hey, we need to unite all the houses against Dagathur. And then what? And then you go in and kill him. What? Why did I unite all the great houses again? No reason in particular. What? Hold on a second. I spent 50 hours uniting all the great houses. Why did I do that? When I'm just going to go in and kill Dagathur? Well, technically, I'm not going to give you Wraithguard until you've united all the houses. Why? It's, that's not exactly how it goes. I said things a little out of order there. But that's an approximation of my criticism to Morrowind. I'd have to actually look at Morrowind again in depth, and I plan to eventually, just for fun. Kane, thanks for subscribing there. But what I was getting at is, I'm looking. Sorry, I got distracted. Jeez. Yeah. Okay. So, Morrowind did feel unfinished, and it's weird because, like, from a storyline perspective, I almost universally praise Morrowind. That's just the one. If we talk about the DLCs, I have more expansion packs. I have more criticisms. But if we're just talking about the core game of Morrowind, I only really have that one criticism. Like, that one major criticism is they build up this kind of grand council storyline where you're going to unite all the great houses as the war leader Nerevar once again, and then you don't do shit with it. It just go in and solo Dagethur. I mean, if the Grand Council sent its army against Dagethur, and maybe Dagethur was putting out like an aura of death that would kill anyone but you because you had the Wraith Guard, like, okay, so look, we'll hold the Corpus Beasts at bay while you go in through this secret back door or whatever, you know? Like, the Dungeon of Dagethur is bit because they literally, the dungeon is called Dagethur. It's been called Dagethur since Elder Scrolls 1: The Arena. But yeah, it's kind of nuts in that sense. Okay. Well, I suppose that's that. My point is that every single Elder Scrolls game I've got criticisms about as far as the story goes, but I enjoy them as video games regardless. That's all I'm saying. And there are people who at me because I don't enjoy huge elements of Skyrim that they liked, like the Greybeards and the dragons and the shouts and the Dragonborn. I hate most of Skyrim's story, but the video game is really fun. All right, let me see here. Hold on. Imagination. The network. I need to find the map. Here we go. Ooh, summer map. I just need to, before we get going, I have to do something. Hold on, I'm gonna make a Twitter tweet. Okay, that will do it. Gonna go ahead and shouts sound like a good idea, but they were underwhelming. Well, they're underwhelming for various reasons. So this was based off of the Imagination Network. Hold on, I'm messing with something, and I'm gonna be really good. If you want to in barn, I need to go in barn. Okay. If you want to try it today, check out In Barn. Also, Medieval Land. I'm really quick just putting together a social media thing. It's very important. There it is. If you want to try the unemulated version of the original. If also an upgraded version of a modernized is the word I'm going to use, version of the MMORPGs side of in can be found here. Ooh. Okay. The world map below. Okay. That will do it. We're going to go 1 and 2. And then I'm going to do that. Okay. And there. Good, good. Okay, so what happened while I was busy? I'll show you. So here we have our world is strange and also fascinating, right? And he showed this picture. And I said, this was based off the Imagination Network. See the world map below. And I said, if you want to try an emulated version of the original today, check out InBarn. Also, a modernized version of the MMORPGs inside of In can be found here. And I went ahead and I linked it because, they did a little Tamriel, which is based off of the Imagination Network there. And I saw that and I was like, I have to share that. All right. The Twitter tweet has been posted. We should be good to go. I'm going to close this Encyclopedia Dramatica article on Giskard. I don't feel like sharing anything from it. It's too mean-spirited. The guy did kind of berg a bit in the past. He definitely deserved a bit of what he got coming to him. Ooh. Okay. Checking 1 or 2 more things, and then we'll get moving. Ah, yes. That'll do it. Okay, let's get going. Oh! I see. I see. Well. That hurt. Oh, and one of those death statues sees me. It causes me pain. I mean, I can just heal through it. Imagine if you didn't have healing or healing potions or anything. Oh, jeez. Huh. This is some special stuff. I like this so far. It's a shifting maze. Oh, that statue's in the ground. I know why it's in the ground. I'm just mildly annoyed at it. Okay. Hey now. This is not Elder Scrolls 6. It's a Skyrim loadout we've been playing for 628 hours and 26 minutes. Elder Scrolls 6 will probably be out by the time we're done. Ah, crap. It's hurting us. Okay, here we go. There it is. Hey, if I take another multi-month break from playing, then Who knows? Oh, shoot. Oh, that abbot. Oh, God. That is the abbot himself. Part of his hide. Oh, my goodness. Let's eat that. That looks pretty good. Ash. Bone. Hold on. Where's the hide? There it is. Good, good, good. Let's have a look at our stats. Yeah, that's good stuff. My health is 1,001. Jeez. That is amazing. I'm happy about that. Okay. All right. Let's get going. What else we got? Oh. No. No, 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 no. Okay. Good news and bad news. I'm gonna go for it. Oh, it hurts you as you get close to it. That's nuts. Yeah, it... Oh, my God. Run. Oh, you can hide in there. That's pretty funny. Yeah, once you dive in there, it goes into a different direction. Wait, door not open? There's the switch. Cool, we've unlocked it. Okay. There we go then. My goodness. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Alright, we're gonna get both of our... Can I kill it? No. It's a static object. Okay, we're gonna heal as we run by it. Yeah, it hurt us a little bit, but we can out-heal it, so that's fine. Oof. I have a feeling that was only the first of more... Oh, crap. Crap, crap, crap. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Those statues hurt you as they go by. Wait for it. Chase after it. Okay. Thankfully, I have 1,000 health, or this would be a problem. Oh no! 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 Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh crap! Oh jeez. Okay. I think I'm free. All right. It locked my camera onto the skeleton. Like the skeleton in the middle of the room. Uh-huh. I saw that and I'm like, let's go this way. Oh boy. Time to save. And more statues. Ah, crap. Run, 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 heal, run. Okay. Oof. Really? Well, that That ain't gonna work. That's the shortcut back. Oh, jeez. Hold on, watch this guy. Okay. Alright, good. Whew. We'll go back to the previous room, the one that has all the doors. I feel like this is a bad idea, but here we go. Oh! Manahar. Okay. Is that a fire draugr? Why? Oh, it's a skeleton mage. Wait, this guy summons creatures that summon. I gotta kill it. Gotta kill it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Put our shield up, and... Damn it. He dodged me. Okay. That hurts. That hurts a lot. Kill this Death Guardian. Oh, jeez. That was a power attack. No thanks. No thanks. Stop leeching my life, you bastard. Okay, that's it. I can't do anything other than kill this guy. So there's two things I need to do. First, I need to breathe fire on him. Good. He's burning. Now, while he's burning, I need to use Elemental Fury. And quickly clunk him to death. Woo! Cheesy combo. It worked. Alright. Allows the caster to summon 2 creatures. I can already do that. Conjuration spells are 63% chance. Oh, that belongs in a museum. Okay. These guys are still hostile, still have to be killed. That's fine. Yeah, he's still trying to shoot me. I thought, oh, is he passive now? No. The answer is no. A creature far more worthy than a dragon priest? Maybe. I think it's just the scaling, being, you know, at a level 175, with the fact that he drains a bit of health. Anything in this coffin? Thought maybe there'd be something in the... Oh. Okay. Hello? Stop it. I said stop it. Good. Huh. Wonder why these guys turned to ash. Kinda weird. Yep. I mean, dragon priests could potentially use Thunderbolt or expert level spells, not just a life drain. Again, I have 1,000 health right now, so it's not so bad. Have a look at the eye and see what my progress is. 53 karma, 5 dreams. Okay, that's fine. Give me a second. I have to look at something. Someone sent me a thingamabobber. Okay. Here we go. They're in the middle of the room, so I just have a moment to get by them. And here we go. Jumpy, jumpy. I like how I just land on the surface. And the skeleton's back. No thanks. We're out of here. Yep, we can leave. I like how my Knight of the Nine got lost. Yeah, I was no... there he is. Hey. Follow me.
Lead the way.
Very good. Let's get out of here. Going back to the entrance. Actually, hold on a second. Is that the portal back? Yeah, we'll just use the portal. It's easier. Good. Did he come with me? No. He has to be summoned. That's why we have leader's teleportation. Double check these coffins. Nothing I need. Alright. We're out of here. That was one mini side dungeon. Alright. So we still haven't gotten into the Imperial City yet. We're still on the outside right now. Once we finish in the Imperial City, there's some stuff to do on this floating island over here. There's like a floating castle, I should say. There's the Citadel over here, the Inquisition of Audubal. That's actually a big deal. Audubal, well, we got to go to the prison tower before we can go anywhere else, I'm pretty sure. But then the White Gold Tower at the end, and then afterward we'll have. It's either, I forget what order it is. I think we go to the island castle first, and then we defeat Jiggalag, and then we raid the White Gold Tower for Molag Bal. But basically, there's an order of events that happens, and Jiggalag's invasion is on hold right now due to the barrier. But when we break the barrier on the White Gold Tower, I'm pretty sure that it will also break the barrier holding Jiggalag's army back. So it means we'll have to deal with Jiggalag before we can take Molag Bal. Alright. Whoops. I need to make sure. Yeah, so we're going to the Wellspring Cave. The Wellspring Cave, I don't imagine, has anything other than another side dungeon, but I'd like to finish all the side dungeons before I go into the Imperial City itself. We're also practicing our block moves. Damn, that guy's awesome. I'm just, NPCs who dual wield well are so cool. My goodness. But yeah. Gonna take us a while to deal with this. As far as Dragon Priests in this load order, though, I doubt they'll be much of a challenge because they probably won't level more than to like 80, maybe. Custom content enemies will go up to like 200, 250. Okay, Wellspring. We've gone past Wellspring Cave. This is the way to the next area. Do I have? Yeah, I have. Okay, that's this broken lever. Do you want to repair it? Require smithing 30. I can't fix that. Oh crap! People are shooting me from the Imperial City. Okay, Imperial City wall guards shooting me. I can't go that way right now. It's fine. That door, like, fixing that switch would just get me back over to where we fought the memory of Panael Whitestrike, and then became Panael Whitestrike. Fought in his memory. Oh, it wasn't someone on the wall. It was this guy. Okay, that's fine. Hey, you gonna shoot me? Yeah. You missed. Now you're dead. Okay, the Elysian Worshipper is dead. But yeah. They're supposed to revive when they're killed, as far as history goes. Unfortunately, things have changed, you see. With the Grey March's invasion, all the souls are harvested to power the barrier. So nothing's reviving on its own. The people who are supposed to know eternal torment are instead entering into non-existence. Alright. Ooh. Me. Thingamabobber, and I'm double checking it. Okay. That will do it. Yep. Ah, great. Cave worms. So this is a worm cave. That's fine. I don't mind. We've already done the crawler cave and other interesting caves. Oh, these are rock worms. All right, so the cool thing about these rock worms is they have their own alchemy ingredient eggs that we can harvest. They also have minerals on them. So as we kill them, which we will be doing frequently, we will have the opportunity to get, you know, various mining materials. But we absolutely want to take their eggs because they are a limited alchemy ingredient. Once I'm done with Cold Harbor, there will be no option. Oh, yeah, Sir Barrick is killing these guys while I harvest. That's actually a really good idea. Let him murder these guys. Chop them, boil them, stick them in a stew. What? Need, there we go. Okay. Got it. Damn right. We're trying to raise our block skill, so I'm very happy that that is actually working. Huh. An Elysian worshipper died to one of these worms. Or, oh, hello. I got distracted and almost went out the exit because I got looped around. I mean, it's a good thing that we're finding more stuff on our return visit. But I didn't expect to be leaving so soon. As we're getting eggs and eggs and eggs. Nothing here so far. Take a moment and a half. Okay. What else? There's more. There's got to be more. Okay. I see. Layer of the cave worm. So it's down that way, but I want to check this area out. Right, that's the exit. So the around and around, I think. I just gotta find the entrance. It'll be around here somewhere, maybe. That is what looks like an entrance. I think that's the exit. Yeah, based on the way this is positioned, it's got to be the exit. So, we have to go deeper. What? No. Yes, this is the way. The way. This is the way. Bunch of, you know, I liked The Mandalorian more than I should have. For just a lot of fan service. Like, it was just packed with fan service. To the point where it really wasn't trying to tell its own kind of story. It was just kind of, here's a reference, here's another reference, here's another reference. Isn't that cool? This is like a video game. Watch as he gets an upgrade. Blah, blah. But it was fun. Like, I think that it doesn't really aspire to tell anything as far as a meaningful story, but it was fun. All right. I can't say the same for newer Star Wars. Like, the movies, I mean. I can't say that it was fun. The ultimate Star Wars is still in the old live-action cutscenes from the video games. That's where the real Star Wars is. What was it? Gee, it was, let me see here. Yes. I found it. I found it. So, let's go. They still used John Williams' score back then.
In time, Ron. First, I need something from you.
I love having a Dark Jedi who's like who's like the Joker. I also like all these random Jedi who were who escaped the Purge.
I have no further use for you, old man.
But yeah, it's these poorly made cutscenes from the video games, which were just the best. Hold on, I have to reply to something in text. I'm just gonna say, that is not recent. He said that years ago, like when episode 7 came out, and he was dissatisfied with it. It's not recent. Sorry. Here we go. Ready for really low quality animation? Here it comes. Ignore the tearing. That's a problem with the capture software. All the Jedi came out of hiding after the Empire fell, but then you got Dark Jedi. Force paralyzed. Bam. Yes. But we're gonna go to the best. The best is the flamboyant apprentice. Here we go. You will never see a Dark Jedi apprentice. You said they laughter equals Joker? No. Moving up to the guy's face, whispering in his ear, doing the little chuckle. Like that's anyway, you said remember the rule of 2? These aren't Sith, they're Dark Jedi. Anyway, so this is a Dark Jedi apprentice, and he is the most flamboyant Dark Jedi you will ever see. But yes, the Dark Jedi give no shits about the Sith or their code or their teachings. They're former Jedi who fell to the dark side while they were in hiding from the Empire. And they give no fucks about any Jedi versus Sith bullshit. They just want more power and to dominate local star systems and such. Jarek, their leader, wants the Valley of the Jedi's ancient secrets that have been hidden from him from when he was in the Jedi Order. They're not Sith. They're just Jedi who fell to the dark side. They give no fucks about the Sith philosophy. Here we go. Watch this. Watch the most flamboyant stuff. Wait for it.
In all my years, I've only known Dark Jedi, never one from the light side. Somehow I expected more.
Yes. As you can see. Well, just one more time so you can appreciate those hand gestures. Here we go.
In all my years, I've only known dark Jedi, never one from the light side. Somehow I expected more.
And it's just a small boss battle. And then after the boss battle's over...
Kill me! Isn't that what you do to dark Jedi?
Okay, here we go. This is gonna be the worst and the best. All right, so hold on. I'm getting to the part. It's really fun. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna kill a dark Jedi here. This guy basically says, like, if you let me live, I'm going to still come after you. Like, he's basically goading him. He's saying, like, even if you, like, no matter what you do, I'm still gonna hunt you, right? So, like, letting me go isn't gonna save you.
I had the honor of taking his head and thrusting it on a spike for all to see. Excellent, Catan. You've started your journey to the dark side. But that is not enough.
Looks like I can't bail you out of trouble this time.
Hold on. This is so ridiculous, but I love it. The cheese. Okay, listen to this guy's line here. It is the most cheese you will ever see. Here we go.
Strike her down and realize your true destiny as a dark Jedi. Your true power.
There you go. Your true power. It's so ridiculous. That is power. Hold on. One more time.
Started your journey to the dark side. But that is not enough.
Looks like I can't bail you out of trouble this time.
Strike her down and realize your true destiny as a dark Jedi. Your true power.
There you go. It's pretty good. And how it is so bad it's good. Jeez. Let me see. Is this the bad ending? I think this is the bad end. Yes. Okay, we got the bad ending. Okay. Here we go. Walker, thanks for subscribing. Good to see you again. Been a while. I know you've been busy, but it's called. You took the. You went on a trip. I know that. Let me see here. Cool. Yes. All right. Here we go. This is the bad ending. There's a good ending, which ties into the next game in the series. Like, because there's like 3 games in the series. There is literally, sorry, 4. There's 4 games in the series, but the good ending is the next one in the series. Whereas this is the 5. There's an expandalone called Mysteries of the Sith. There's 5 fucking games in the series. Okay. As I was saying, this is the non-canon ending. Okay, here we go.
Our spies bring word of a small rebel uprising on Danuta.
I have no time for petty uprisings. Extinguish them painfully.
Yes, Emperor.
is just so bad. Yes, Emperor Catan.
I want you to remember, son, when you're at the academy, how very proud I am of you.
There you go. That's the bad ending of of the game. It's something special. I'll give you that. Yes. The rebels got extinguished painfully. New rebels. Remember that this is after the new. They make a leap from here's the New Republic versus the Imperial Remnant. Kyle turns to the dark side, and suddenly he's Emperor on Coruscant, and there are rebels. The New Republic has been basically crushed. Like, it's they skipped a few things in that bad ending. Whereas if you follow Mysteries of the Sith, which is the next game, they're still dealing with the Imperial Remnant. And when they move on to Jedi Outcast, they're still dealing with the Imperial Remnant after that. Then in Jedi Academy, they're dealing with what are they called? These Maka Ragnos cultists. And there's a couple Imperial Remnant bases, but the Imperial Remnant has mostly had their Starfleet wiped out by the time of Jedi Academy, as I remember it. I may be misremembering because, you know, the Imperial Remnant still controlled like 1/4 of the galaxy, which is huge. But they lost their Starfleet around the Jedi Outcast time, which is it's how do I put this? Dark Forces takes place both before A New Hope, and then time skips to during Empire Strikes Back. That's Dark Forces, the first game. Then Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight is the one we were seeing clips from. And that was, what is it called? That one was right after Return of the Jedi, when the Jedi Academy had just been established. After that, there's Mysteries of the Sith, where Kyle basically falls to the dark side, and then you play the rest of the game as Mara Jade, Luke's wife, and she helps Kyle get back onto the light side. Ha. From there, what is it called? From there, you play as a new character named Jaden, who is constantly fighting against Sven of Riverwood, along with the cultists of Maka Ragnos, and occasionally some Imperial Remnant, but not really. But mostly it's his rivalry with Sven of Riverwood that is important in that. And then, obviously Kyle takes care of things in the end. What was it? I'm trying to remember. Let me pick this up. Okay. Should be good. Let me skip the Star Wars theme. Okay, here we go. So, get ready. Get ready, everybody. Sven.
We'll be arriving at the Academy in just a few minutes.
All right, get ready for Sven, everybody.
That would be so great! Aren't you excited? We're going to be Jedi! Learning the ways of the Force, building a lightsaber. Ah, of course, you already have one. I'm gonna get one of those stupid training sabers and
I
then...
wouldn't worry about that.
I can't help it. I want to make a good impression.
You seem really nervous.
Aren't you? I mean, well, why would you be? You already have a lightsaber, so you're probably way ahead of me. I'm Rosh, by the way. What's your name?
Jaden.
So where'd you get that lightsaber?
Well, it's kind of a long story.
Yeah. He found the blueprints and constructed his own lightsaber. Yes. Jaden had constructed his own lightsaber just based on reading like an ancient holocron thing. That was it. Anyway. Said Harry Potter with a lightsaber? Not quite, but yes. Let me see here. It was, I mentioned once that Luke Skywalker was a compelling character in those games. Someone else replied with, if by compelling you mean boring. And I remember explaining to them that, Luke was never supposed to be complex. He was a wonder child, basically. It's a trope. The wonder child becomes the hero. It's a power fantasy. And yes, he's a compelling character to anyone who enjoys power fantasies. Which, I mean, I wouldn't be playing Skyrim if I didn't enjoy power fantasies. But under no circumstances is he a complex character. That's something people don't realize. Hold on while I find something here. I was gonna say, was around here somewhere. Okay. Ah, yes. I think it was my Star Wars Day post. Second there. Okay. So it was Luke interacting with Kyle, I think.
I sense a disturbance in the Force.
You always sense a disturbance in the Force. But yeah, I sense it too.
Yes. You always sense a disturbance in the Force. Alright, let's see. Okay, I think this one was it. Okay, so you wanted Harry Potter with lightsabers. Give me a second. I'm making sure that everything is right. Okay, here we go.
I'd like to welcome all our new students to the Jedi Academy. Here we will train you in the ways of the Force. You will learn to defend yourself with a lightsaber. You will also study diplomacy, history, and more.
There you go. Is that what you meant? Okay. So, yeah, just Luke Skywalker running the Jedi Academy, you know. Something people wanted to see when new Star Wars movies came out. You know, a logical progression to his character arc. Where he, you know, what happens when you take a character and they've already fulfilled their character arc? You put them into a new arc where they're the mentor. This was part of J.J. Abrams' mystery box. He was like, you know, it revealed Luke at the very end, and then the Looper guy directed the next movie and had him throw the saber off the cliff. Yes. It's, My goodness. Basically, Bilbo and the... Yeah, more or less. I mean, Gandalf is almost a mentor role in many respects. But that's more or less it, is when you finish with a character, you've completed their arc, and you want to still use that character, then typically they need to learn to step aside, or they need to have their own goals whilst the new protagonists have their own, and they coincide. They end up working together. That works too. But the point is, when someone's finished their character arc, you either need to give them a new arc or relegate them to mentor status. And mentor status itself can become an arc unto itself. But let's be honest here. Star Wars was not very complex. The EU made it more complex, and by complex I mean convoluted. But it, I don't know. Yeah, actually, I got that wrong. So the EU made it more convoluted, but it still retained the simplicity of Star Wars. By that I mean the characters never really had extremely complex character arcs. It was, it was simple in the beginning and it was simple in the end. Unfortunately, rather than building upon that legacy, the new directors kind of soft rebooted it. Just introduced new characters to go through the same character arc almost. My goodness. Okay. Things going on down there. Things going on over there. Looks like I have to go down. Yes. If it works, why change it? I mean, to be fair, there are fighting games that I agree with that sentiment. And the hero's template makes a lot of sense. A dead Elysian Knight here. Interesting. With soulless remains. We can get karma off that. Cool. Ooh. George Lucas is, you said ask George Lucas, he wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel. No, he wasn't. So the hero's journey itself wasn't revolutionary. It was actually an observation of a story that's repeated itself through human history. But what do you call it? George Lucas, he went from acknowledging that he didn't really have a plan. He just made he made a script and everything. He pitched it to a bunch of people. Most people didn't want it. He finally got a studio that bit, and his wife massively altered things in post. His actors basically said, look, I can't say this line, it's stupid. This isn't how people talk. And so they got lots of lines cut from the original. Like, as a result, a lot of really stupid dialogue from George Lucas's script got axed, thanks to the actor standing up and saying, this is dumb. That could never be done today, by the way. Actors would look at this and... no. You said Luke had a monologue. No. It's better than that. It's better than that. Hold on. Line... Mark Hamill begged to be cut. Hold on. It's worse than sand. Let me pull this up. Yeah. We can't turn back. Fear's the greatest defense. I doubt the defenses are any greater on Acolyte than they were on Acolyte or Solist. And what is there? Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. George Lucas was always bad at his job. You said, oh, no. The sequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy that George Lucas wanted to tell was about the Wills. These microscopic organisms that rule the universe, that are the gods of the Force. That's what he wanted to make a sequel trilogy about. We wouldn't have had a good sequel trilogy under George Lucas. I'm sorry. That is an illusion. Yes. Oh. Oh crap, Mountain Eater. Level 125. Level 125 worm. Oh, there's more of you. There's more of you. Hadouken. Okay. Damn. Okay. So, no, there were no plans for episodes, no. Star Wars was just called Star Wars. The episode 4, A New Hope, was added later. If you actually find, because people have recorded in the original broadcast, not the original broadcast, but the original cut of Star Wars, it didn't say episode 4, A New Hope. It just said Star Wars. He had no plans for expanding it originally. When he did add episode 4, A New Hope, he had like a radio broadcast series that kind of filled in the earlier ones. All right. Damn. Elysian Knight helmet, worm eggs, dragon soul stone, a full set of ebony, hist sap flask, excellent. Oh, if you want to be immune to frost, here you go. He said then toys happened? Yes. Star Wars is an incredible story about a man who managed to retain the merchandising rights despite a studio paying for the actual movie. The studio had no faith in it. Period. So, no, the success of Star Wars was George Lucas getting the merchandising rights. All right. Let me see here. Let me pick this up really quick. So, yes, I know for a fact. Okay. So, did you know that back in the day, they had, they knew that the sequel trilogy was coming, you see. And the final movie, here we go.
Surprise, surprise, I'm Lando in disguise.
There you go. See? Those are Star Wars toys. They knew that was coming. Surprise, surprise, I'm Lando in disguise. Alright, let's see here. Yes, I was gonna say that if you're interested in the mods, then exclamation point mod list, follow the link, and it should be currently one of the top articles. Anyway, let's get out of here. Oh, the Wampa toy? Yes. Yes, indeed. My goodness. You said Lucas started making story concepts. Hope they would use his ideas. In plan to make new movies before that. Yes. But his plan for a sequel trilogy, the ones he actually came up with that Disney rejected, yeah, that was a thing that existed. I can't say too much about it other than oof. Just one giant oof. Lair of the cave worm. Here we go. The hell am I? Uh-huh. There is a dead Elysian priest. So many Elysian priests have been mummified here in terrible dimension. Where the hell am I? I can't even see at this point. Peace. Okay, we got the ability to climb up here. Good. I hear worms. I definitely hear worms. Good. Yeah. For Linux, I ran the Lutris installer for Mod Organizer. That's how I got it working. I think... Okay, I see stuff moving on there, and I'm like freaking out. Hey, what are you doing? Guy teleported to me. Jeez. All right. I'm using KDE Neon right now. Although, if you're looking to use something like what I'm using, I'd recommend Kubuntu instead. That's KU Ubuntu. It's Ubuntu with a K, basically. And it's exactly the same, except what I'm using is a rolling release version. That is to say, it's basically always up to date with new user interface stuff, you know, for the Plasma desktop, but it's running off of Ubuntu LTS, long-term support version, meaning that it's not getting major updates to the core operating system because the core operating system does what I need it to do. I don't need major updates to it. It's still getting security updates, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like I'm not updating it at all. It's just that it's a stable, proven operating system. I don't have to worry about, like all the ARC evangelists don't tell you that you have to update it. And if you don't, you're going to be in for some pain. You know, and things have a tendency to go right until they don't, and you might not be playing your games for a week if they don't go right, which has happened a couple times to my friends that don't fix what's not broken. Well, I mean, you still want security updates, you still want stability updates, bug fixes. And that's what I'm getting with my long-term support version, basically. But the difference between KDE Neon and Kubuntu is Kubuntu runs a stable version of the desktop at all times, a proven version of the desktop, basically. Whereas I'm more or less getting the bleeding edge version of the desktop software. Also, it doesn't come with all of the optional software that Kubuntu does. Kubuntu will give you a Windows-like experience right out of the gate. whereas the KD Neon will give you the desktop suite, but you have to fill it with your own programs. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you might be looking for a while, let's just say. Okay. Let me... Yeah, I've had no need of the Arc repository myself. I understand why people would want it, depending on what they do, but I'm literally just running, you know, games listed here, plus miscellaneous Steam games, plus emulated games in either RetroArch or, you know, well, just RetroArch, really, or etc. But, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing anything that really needs it. Alright. Ah, we got the big worm. We're gonna... here we go. Damn! It's a frozen worm. That's pretty, nuts. I'm so glad the shield reflects. Okay, my followers here. Sir Barrick! Jeez. Okay, I got it stuck for a second. And one more clunk should do it. We got it. Good, good, good. You do deal 50% more frost damage. Imagine if you're a frost character. That's awesome. Good stuff. We gain karma for killing it. Shedderend, you do realize that I'm not using that gear that I picked up because I've already enchanted gear for this character. The Amulet of Kings gives 84% resistance to all magic, 41% chance to loot an additional magic item from people you kill, increases my health by 213 points. I had to use my Miracle perk on this. You can use your enchanting perk called Miracle only once per character. And I chose the Amulet of Kings as the thing. All of the relics of the Dragonborn are unenchanted, but have passive benefits for wearing them. They're like scripted actions that add effects when you equip them. But you can enchant them with whatever you want. So I enchanted the Amulet of Kings to just... I don't want to get hurt by magic. That was the armor of Morahas is destruction. It costs half and increases health. The Helm of Tiber Septim is destruction costs half and more magicka. You'll notice that the two destruction costs half combine to make destruction free. That's important. There are still some destruction spells that don't count. You know, they're special spells, and they will still cost, but for the most part, they're free. Additionally, we got one-handed attacks do basically 90% more damage, and heavy armor's more effective. And then one-handed attacks do basically 90% more damage, and look, 103% resistance to fire. That's because I'm a vampire and I have an innate weakness to fire, so I want to counter that, and that's what the fire resist enchant is for. Additionally, I have a stamina regenerates faster ring, which is for my power attacks. That's a left-handed ring. My right-handed ring reduces my shout cooldown. My cloak reduces my shout cooldown. And my hammer reduces my shout cooldown. Yes. You said you've only used the relics and helping you fight Train Wiz's World Eater Beater Alduin mod. Yeah, the World Eater Beater's great. Let's see. You made a vault with Jackson's Positioner and the Thunderchild Wing of High Hrothgar to safeguard them. I understand that. I would probably hide a bunch of stuff in the vault, to be honest. There's an area that you can build as a part of Legacy of the Dragonborn. It's called it's just called the Vault, and it was housing an ancient Ayleid Lich King. But when you kill the Lich King in the vault, you repurpose it to hold your relics, because you're like, you do realize if someone steals from the museum again, they'll have access to the most powerful shit. And so you basically redesign a dungeon into a vault. It's kind of cool. You don't trust the guards that are stationed there? Yeah, exactly. So you should station your own followers there. What you do is you use the follower mod and just kind of set their, what do you call it? Their residence there. And so you can have your followers take up the call and be guards of the most expensive collection ever. Makes sense. I'm still looting the worm eggs. When I leave Cold Harbor, I'll never have the option to loot those eggs again. So, in fact, I don't even know if these eggs respawn when the cell resets, if the cell ever does reset. I think once you've exhausted Cold Harbor's resources, that's it. Well, I've seen no evidence of respawning stuff here. Oh, I couldn't tell you. I definitely don't mess with Dead is Dead. I would never do that anymore. I actually how do I put this? I used to play hardcore mode on a lot of games, including like in the game Torchlight. I have a Steam achievement called Hardcore God, meaning I beat the game on very hardcore, which you know isn't that special really in terms of difficulty, but like only like 0.1% of players have ever done that. That was when I had time. Unfortunately, I no longer have time. I've played this playthrough for 600 hours, and I've enjoyed it. I wouldn't get that same enjoyment constantly in fear of deleting my character, especially when I'm looking at the chat and interacting on stream. I think that hardcore playthroughs are best for either people who have endless amounts of time, you know, the neat lifestyle. NEAT, for those who don't know, is it stands for not in education, employment, or training. For NEATs, the idea of hardcore mode is, I'm sure, very appealing. But if you have any other obligations or you want to progress towards something, we're going to use our waystone to go deposit stuff. You know, a long form playthrough like this is basically out of the question if you're using high difficulty mods. People rationalize their fun in all number of ways. They prefer shorter playthroughs, and that's fine. People prefer to exploit the hell out of the system and don't use difficulty mods, at which point you know, that they'll question, you know, why aren't you using this exploit? Why aren't you using that exploit? Why don't you have, you know, the best in slot, the best in you know, so on and so forth. And you know, I've never really I don't really enjoy that sort of playthrough myself anymore. Mostly because I lack the time to do it and do a long-term playthrough. So why don't you just type TGM in console? Because that's cheating, obviously. I don't like live systems, actually. I think one of the first things I did when I went to play a retro game was take advantage of save states to avoid the live system. I mean, I'd save state at the beginning of the level, so I'd still be repeating the level. But when you run out of lives and you're restarting the whole thing, or restarting from the beginning of the the world or whatever, I'm just like, no, can't do that, not anymore. I enjoy old school games still, but I think modding is absolutely a thing. My goodness. Ooh, looking at something else. Okay. I don't know what you just said. You used an acronym, and it means nothing to me. You're gonna have to learn to start typing things out properly so people can understand you. All right, let's go ahead and put all these potions away. Very good. Oh, you're talking about Final Fantasy XIV Best in Slot gear. Okay. Yeah. You can do any content in the game with crafted greens. That's the silly part. I'm talking about Final Fantasy XIV. So, Sky Oblivion? I haven't heard too much about Skywind, but I've been watching I've been watching Sky Oblivion's development streams, and I'm excited. And I'll tell you why I'm excited. It's because it's not just Oblivion again in the Skyrim engine. They are redesigning areas, handcrafting things. Like, for example, you know Crowhaven, which was a generic Imperial fort where the Grey Prince quest took place? That's being revamped into... Its exterior is going to be an Imperial villa with a dungeon underneath. So it'll be more or less the same dungeon underneath, but instead of being a generic crumbling Imperial fort on the outside, it will be a crumbling Imperial villa, specifically where Lord Leviticus would live. So it's an area where you'd actually think Lord Leviticus would live. Point is, it is not just a copy pasta of Oblivion. It is a reimagining of Oblivion. Now, I say I'm excited for it, but I have absolutely no expectations of when it's going to come out or if it's going to come out. I just said I watched some of the development streams live, like I had it on my third monitor while I was working on something in real life. Or for real life, I should say. So... I got to watch them putting it together in real time, because they do that. They have development streams. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that I wouldn't be hanging on the edge of your seat waiting for that update. That's what I'm saying. It just kind of, it'll come out when it comes out. And I'm just saying from a design perspective, I've watched them build some of it, and I said, yeah, this is really cool. When they were showing off landscapes, I don't give a shit about landscapes. When they were showing off some generic Skyrim combat, I don't give a shit about generic Skyrim combat. Show me. You said how much time is it adding to their ETA? Well, they can't just, like... Oblivion is incompatible with Skyrim. You can't convert content directly. You need to actually remake it one way or the other. When you're asking how much time is it adding to their ETA to handcraft stuff instead of copy-paste the same prefabs together, I don't know. But I wouldn't want Skyblivion as a copy-paste. I just play Oblivion then. Like, same with Skywind. Skywind is a reimagining of Morrowind. Why would I want to play... Like, when we have the OpenMW engine, what possible reason would I have to want to play exact same Morrowind except with Skyrim mechanics? That would be terrible. That would be an inferior video game. Thankfully, they're reimagining it into what Skywind is becoming. I can't say whether it's ever going to come out or when it's going to come out, but at least it's something I'll want to play, as opposed to, you know, a slapdash copy pasta job, which I don't give a shit about and would probably never play. So, you know, it's you can't help but wonder what it's adding to the ETA. It's like, but that's what's making the product I actually want to play. If they're not going to do that, then I don't want it. It's that simple. And that'd be like saying you should only play Oblivion and not Morrowind, which is heresy because Oblivion is a functionally worse version of Morrowind in every way. Let me see here. But I like the better graphics, someone will eventually say. And that's where I don't give a shit about. Skywind and Skyblivion are both reimaginings of their original games. They are not slapdash ports. They're not just a bunch of prefabs being stuck together. Yes, I am more interested in Beyond Skyrim than I am Skywind or Skyblivion. However, I am still interested in Skywind and Skyblivion because they are different. You know, they're not going to be the same game pasted in there. I need to figure out where I'm going. I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. This should get me out. Yes, to Cold Harbor. We're there. Anyway. Okay, the Imperial City is that way. We have now finished all of the optional dungeons I know about. Eastern Sewer. God damn it. Okay, we're going for the Eastern Sewer. Screw it. I'm looking at everything going, God damn it. So, eventually we have to get into the slums and follow the waterways to get to the prison, take the prison bridge across into the, into here. You think you need a reimagining of Blizzard before you can get a reimagining of WoW? So, here's what I'm interested in. It are Vanilla Plus servers. So, Vanilla, like, as far as, like, I didn't play WoW Classic. See here. My goodness, five subs. Thank you, Dawn. I do appreciate that. Don J Cast. Was gonna say though before I got distracted. So here's the issue with WoW Classic. I looked at it and I said, I've already done that back when it was new. Like I don't need to play that again. If anything, it's not going to be the same, and it turns out it wasn't the same. And the reason it wasn't the same is because people had metagamed it to the point where all of the discovery was, gone. I mean, of course the discovery's gone, but all the enjoyment was gone because, everyone metagamed it. So the results of those of that whole setup, I just looked at it and I said, this isn't going to work for me. And so I went and played Asheron's Call when WoW Classic came out, and people were asking me, "You're gonna play WoW Classic?" Well, I was streaming Asheron's Call, right? And people were just asking me. I was purposefully ignoring everyone who asked about it, and just kept on playing, and it was fucking hilarious. But yeah, you said you like to pretend that WoW management wasn't corrupted back in 2006. Okay, so there was always a frat boy mentality. I've told this story a billion times. I have known former now, that they are now former Blizzard employees since the Warcraft 2 days. All right, back when we used to use the Kali service to play Warcraft 2 online, because Warcraft 2 didn't actually support real online. Anyway, point is, when World of Warcraft became a thing, I was in the Friends and Family closed beta. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I was in a guild with Blizzard employees. I used to hang out in Irvine, which is where Blizzard was. I was in that culture, and I can tell you right now that what they were talking about, the frat boy mentality, absolutely was real. But there was no one there directly. At no point in time would anyone, abuse or assault women. Occasionally you get a crude joke. That, for example, if you look at Jaina Proudmoore or Sylvanas, their outfits, are kind of indicative of the culture there. It's now I don't have any I don't have any illusions of being a prude. I'm talking about how characters look. But what I'm saying is that ultimately, you look at what was being created back then, and it's absolutely nuts that it went in the direction it did. Because, so, yes, there were a lot of people who, it was not a professional environment from the very beginning. This was a bunch of nerds who got together because they played video games. Even the receptionist, she was a gamer. Okay, everyone who was there played games. In fact, they were encouraged to play their own games when they were in the office. When people talk about how men were playing games on the job while they delegated their work to women, that's part of the lawsuit. All right, so this is a corruption of the original corporate culture. In the original corporate culture of Blizzard, they were encouraged to play their own games, specifically experience the results of their own development decisions, and decide on a course of action from there based on feedback. So in other words, if they were getting a lot of feedback about something, they would go play it for themselves, check it out, maybe take an hour or two out of their workday to just experience the content that they're getting feedback on. And they would integrate the feedback they were getting with their own gameplay experience. That eventually got corrupted to from, you know, they're expected to play their own games into, well, I'm gonna play Call of Duty and get my you know, the people who work for me to do this shit, right? But that was after 2006, right? The 2004 2005 era WoW is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when I knew people there, and those people were dedicated. They were fans of games. They played video games, and they integrated their ideas from other video games. They were not EverQuest developers. There's a meme out there that said, "Oh yeah, former EverQuest devs came to WoW," and no. EverQuest players. Some of them were trolls, by the way. So, you know, the kind of person who's going to troll someone else is partially responsible for the world PvP being the way it was in WoW. I mean, ganking was just, if it's red, it's dead, right? Like, that was carried over from the mentality of a ganker from EverQuest. It was part of the problem is, and I tried to address this back when the game was in alpha, but you know, no one really took me seriously. I mean, why would they? I'm just a random playtester at the time, but I said the world is too small and too streamlined to support like free open world PvP. There's too many zones where there's only one thoroughfare, like say Fellwood, for example, where everyone's going to encounter everyone, and there's no real room for strategic PvP. It's just you're going to have gankers running through, like raffle stomping people who are questing, and you know that was fine with them, but that was the kind of game that was built up. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I was on the side that was ganking people, but you know me. I'm typically the guy who will at least make an attempt to view things from another person's perspective. Can't say I always succeed, but you know, I was looking at it from the perspective of the people I was ganking. Anyway, what I'm trying to say though is Blizzard has always been, at least in the 2004-2005 era, it was for gamers, by gamers, right? And let's be honest here. That meant the workspace wasn't kept clean. The people made crude jokes. You know, like occasionally at parties, they would get a little too drunk and they'd be escorted to a hotel room. You know, shit like that. Stuff like that happened. But assault and cubicle crawls and stuff like that, that's a corruption of what I knew. That isn't what I knew from 2004 2005. 2004 2005. That's some weird. Okay, so when World of Warcraft was successful, World of Warcraft was made for 10,000 players, by the way. World of Warcraft would have been considered a success if 10,000 people played it. Instead, millions played it, and the servers crashed and burned. They were on non-stop acquisitions of hardware and software, trying to upgrade their infrastructure the best they could. It was hectic. But the point is, because they had to expand so rapidly, they ended up with way more people than they could possibly have vetted. Vet means investigate to discover, if you don't know that. It's what you typically do with employees who are going to join a very large company, something, where they could be in a sensitive position to impact other people. Typically, you investigate their past behavior and things of that nature. You know, it sounds like an invasion of privacy. That's because it is. That's how vetting people works. Anyway, point is, they weren't able to properly gauge the type of employees they were getting. And so, before you knew it, the corporate culture had changed because a lot of new blood. You need more employees, just get them in. Exactly. And so, whilst I can't say all of Blizzard's leadership was pristine, but the people I knew were good people. Sometimes they were a bit shy and maybe a bit of a pushover, you know, could be easily influenced. When I say easily influenced, I don't mean down the dark side. I mean easily allowed to let things slide. Like, hey, you need to clean up your workspace. Like, give them an extra day, you know? Give them an extra day. Give them an extra day. You know, stuff like that. You know, it's the idea, it's kind of a pushover, right? It's not that these people were malicious, at least the people I knew. It's that they could be easily, you know, basically pushed around. They're pushovers, okay? And they were good at their jobs as developers. They made video games. They played video games. That was their thing. And then they were suddenly, you know, Vivendi, their corporate owners, like, hey, we're gonna merge you with Activision because we want to sell we want to get rid of Activision. Activision's kind of doing poorly. Activision went on to become like the best part of their company, but from a monetary perspective. However, at the time, Activision was underperforming. And so they merged the two companies in order to make the companies look good to sell. And they sold the companies. And people have this weird idea that Activision took over Blizzard. Like, Vivendi owned Blizzard. And Vivendi owned Activision. And they wanted rid of both of them. They no longer wanted the responsibilities of ownership, and they wanted a big cash sum. So they sold the companies. They merged them first and sold them. But this notion that Activision took them over, you know, like bought them out, that's nonsense. That never happened. Maybe from a legal standpoint that happened, but it was really their corporate owners at Vivendi said, we want rid of you, and we're going to merge your two companies. Anyway, the actual poisoning of Blizzard's corporate culture by Activision happened after Hearthstone became a mega success. They spent almost no money, comparatively speaking, to produce they spent almost no money, comparatively speaking, to produce Hearthstone. It was a tiny, tiny team. Mostly borrowed people, not even full-time. And it made more money than everything else. And they looked at this and went, well, shit. And they, so Activision looked at that and said, we need this kind of profit out of the rest of you. Okay, how are we going to get more profit? We're kind of declining on users. Let's sell more microtransactions. Okay, well let's do this, let's do that. They need to show growth every year, and they failed in recent time. But after Hearthstone was a huge success, they needed to show that kind of growth, to show that Hearthstone wasn't a fluke, but something they could reproduce. And so that's what happened. That's when Activision actually started meddling directly with Blizzard. is after the Hearthstone boom. But a lot of the bad decisions, and there are a lot of bad decisions, but a lot of the bad decisions that people look at Blizzard and say, well, that was Activision. Wasn't. That was before Activision started meddling. Those were Blizzard ideas. At least the Blizzard that materialized after I stopped being in with the clique around, 2006 or so. When people say the trouble started around 2006 is when I dropped out of the clique and I stopped hearing from these people. Mostly because of real life work and such. But, yeah. Hearthstone is a fun game, actually. I'd say Elder Scrolls Legends is a better game, but Elder Scrolls Legends isn't developed anymore. It is a dead game in the sense that you can still pay them money for cards, but they're not developing it. Mostly because they had problems with their first studio, and then they had problems with their second studio, and they said, "This isn't worth doing anymore," and they just dropped it like a rock. But no, I used to hang out online with a lot of people related to Blizzard, if not directly working for Blizzard. And my guild was run by a Blizzard employee at the time. It was good stuff. You said Elder Scrolls Legends artwork has been compiled on the USP wiki. Oh, interesting. Have they extracted the data files and actually got blown up versions of it? I'll have to use the waifu ×2 AI upscale on some of those. All right, let's see. We got to go all the way around. That's it. We got to go to the Eastern Sewer anyway, so yeah. My goodness. But yeah, I mean, the notion that Blizzard was ever cold, clinical, and what do you call it? And professional. That they were ever professionals. And by that I mean that they acted professional, or that they were, let's just say, I don't know. I'm trying to find a good word for it, but they were always a mess. But that mess was never malicious, at least during the 2004-2005 era that I knew them. Like, occasionally there'd be a raunchy joke or whatever. But if someone said they felt uncomfortable, they'd go, okay, and it's just, it was obvious. I could say it was a different time, and people would at me very loudly, but there was no malice behind the frat boy mentality that existed back when I knew Blizzard. There absolutely was it was disorganized. It was messy. It was, it wasn't well polished. And they were gamers, first and foremost, before they were anything else. Again, down to the lady at the front desk who answered the phones. They were all gamers. You said, strange how they could produce a game with so few bugs with such disorganization. What does the state of their office have to do with the state of their code? Like, people have this idea that you can have a pristine corporation with a cold, clinical point of view, and somehow it's going to produce great software. And then we get Amazon Lumberyard. Oh, boy. Okay. Genius and madness are two sides of the same coin. You'll find that the most brilliant people also tend to be fucked up in some way. I know I have espoused horribly racist and or sexist attitudes in the past, based on my, several decades of living. I have grown and changed. I've been educated and I understand what I did wrong in the past. But we are all relics. We're all relics of the time we are born, right? In that sense, I think that Blizzard was a relic of the time it was created in many of its attitudes. And then, when it expanded rapidly, without control, a lot of those attitudes allowed rot to fester in the company. Got a leech here. Bam. I think that you can have leadership with the best of intentions, but if remember that I mentioned some of these people were kind of pushovers. If they aren't actually managing their people, and you hire, hundreds of employees, and they're all in their own little bubbles that you don't directly manage anymore, how can you say that they are good people? How can you say that you have people who are trying to be the best company they can be? I don't think you can. Got him. He's dead. What's this? Coin purse. Very good. Why did I need to drop the bridge if this was a thing? Jeez. Okay. My goodness. Dravi, thank you for subscribing there. Gonna say, yeah, I mean, what it comes down to is, I know some of the people who were in leadership positions in Blizzard, and they were fundamentally good people, even though, they were gamers who just, wanted to make fun games and play fun games. They didn't think about, how it would look to design, say, a female character in skimpy armor. I certainly wouldn't know anything about that either. But it absolutely never occurred to them that it would offend some people. And when it did offend some people, that they were good. Like, some of them, I'm not saying all of them, because we got our BlizzCon footage, right? Where it's like, well, what catalog do you want them from? You see, that's the frat boy mentality. Like, this isn't as serious, is it? I can tell you that guy got a talking to afterward. Like, he said he made fun of the girl who commented like, "Hey, you know, I really like the female characters in your game. They're awesome. Like, I see tons of people like they're just really cool. Like, tons of people are trying to emulate them as far as like character designs go and such. But really, could we get maybe a couple alternate outfits for them that don't look like they stepped out of Victoria's Secret catalog?" And the guy's reply was literally, well, what catalog do you want them to step out of? And then they were like, what about those female Taran? Sexy, sexy cowgirls. Yeah, well, that particular man, you'll notice never said anything like that at a BlizzCon or any kind of public gathering again. Oh crap, we got a boss fight. Here we go. That's the King of Leeches. There's a wall of light here. Oh damn, that was a block. Here we go. What I was trying to say, though... Well, hold on. Let me finish this fight first. Bam. Oh, no. Little leeches are spawning. Yeah, the big leech is spawning little leeches. I got him. Woo-wee. Okay, King of Leeches. Moon Sword of Jode. Excellent. I love my classic JRPG swords. Human flesh. Crown. Oh god, Crown of Leeches. Reduces damage by leeches by 50%. That is hilarious. Okay. So, as I was saying, geez, there's something back there. I'm gonna wait. Okay, so yeah, point is that there was this schism between the fans, or sorry, between the larger expanded number of employees versus the original leadership at Blizzard. And now, some of the original leadership at Blizzard, they weren't that great people, it turns out. Most of them were. But again, they were pushovers, so they let a lot of stuff slide that they shouldn't have. And that's why the corporate culture devolved. I'm not saying that everyone who was with the company at the start were good people. I'm merely saying the people I interacted with were, you know, a little bit on the raunchy side from time to time. You know, like, come on, man, that kind of, you know, just let it slide type deal. You know, like, maybe he shouldn't have said that thing, but we'll just let it slide. It was a lot of that. You know, just it came with what their whole company was like. They weren't exaggerating when they said there was a frat boy mentality, because it was a bunch of dudes who played video games who were making video games. And that has a lot of baggage with it. If you actually see what the typical gamer is like online. Oh boy. Gamer is a loaded term, isn't it? Keep in mind, I'm sitting here and I've been streaming for like almost 4 hours on a video game that I've been playing for 630 hours. But I'm hesitant to use the, this particular playthrough was 630 hours, but I'm still hesitant to use the term gamer because it's so loaded with other people you will see online who are unapologetically awful. And, yeah. Now, you're asking what's offensive about skimpy armor. In theory, nothing. You'll find that there are a lot of lesbians or bisexuals who will also appreciate skimpy armor, in addition to just men. However, when you have someone who when you had someone who had a concern about it, who wanted, you know, maybe a woman in full plate armor who looks badass, like the Crusader from Diablo 3, for example. I don't have a lot of good things to say about Diablo 3, but when they added the Crusader, she looked fucking awesome in her default outfit. And it's not skimpy. It looks amazing. Like she's a practical warrior woman. At least, was it? Let me actually look. My memory may be playing tricks on me. Let's go. Diablo 3 Crusader. Not build. It auto-completed build. Uh-huh. Yeah, let's pull this out. Just, it's a good image to give you a sense. Like, I like Jaina Proudmoore, okay? I as a character design. I like Sylvanas as a character design. I can't say I like these people now based on how they evolved as characters. But yeah, let's let me pull this up. So, if we scroll this down here, and then we'll pull up the Crusader here. Give me a second there. So this particular Crusader, you can see this outfit. And this is the kind, like, when you ask it, like, what about skimpy armor is offensive? It's not necessarily that skimpy armor is offensive. It's that there are women who want to have the power fantasy of this Crusader. Look at her. She's fucking awesome looking. All right? Now, I don't mind skimpy armor, but at the same time, we end up with, you know, none of this is official art. I'm like, this comparison here is unfair, by the way. This is all, these are all shenanigans, okay? Like, I can cycle through fan art, and it's all, you know, ridiculous. But ignoring the fan art for a second, let me actually pull up a real Jaina Proudmoore. Yes. Let me see here. No, this is the newer one. I need a classic Jaina Proudmoore. Okay. I think a Warcraft. This is a Warcraft 3 style interpretation. Let me see here. Looking for it. Hold on. Jaina Proudmoore, Warcraft 3. Let me see if we can find. Okay, this is a proper illustration of Jaina Proudmoore. So there we go. As you can see, she's got a lot going on there. Sylvanas. Let's see. Sylvanas Windrunner, Warcraft 3. Let me see here. All right, I just need to make sure that there's no naughty bits here. All right, this is an accurate depiction of Sylvanas Windrunner from, yeah, so you can see right here that this is what they were showing when the lady asked on stage at BlizzCon. She said, can we get characters that don't look like they stepped out of the Victoria's Secret catalog, right? Because whether you can just turn your brain off and be a little dick and say that, well, she's just an SJW and she doesn't appreciate the skimpy armor. She's just getting offended. Like, shut up. Maybe a woman wants to appreciate something fucking badass like this paladin here. I personally would allow someone to, you know, choose whatever appearance they want. Kind of like Final Fantasy XIV with the glamour system. You'd be surprised how many people there are with skimpy outfits, and how many of them are played by actual women. However, the point is, they were looking at role models for characters, right? Is this Sylvanas Windrunner artwork official? No, but it's the basic character design on everybody. It's more or less the character design. You can go find it, and there's like some with she has leggings, some she doesn't. It's pretty like this isn't official artwork either, but it's kind of what you'd expect in the game. Let me see here. You know which one you'd want your daughter to view as a role model. That's what I'm saying, ultimately. But you see, that's more or less it. Is you get this idea of a role model character, someone who's you know, this paladin is just a badass in general, and I absolutely appreciate the character design. But the problem isn't that they said, like, okay, I need to make this very clear. The problem isn't that they wanted to stick to their guns and keep Sylvanas skimpy. That is not the problem. The problem is they joked at this woman's expense. Talked about sexy cows, and that we'll use a different catalog besides Victoria's Secret next time. You know, they made jokes at this woman's expense when she had a serious concern. If they had said, look, I'm sorry, but we kind of like their outfits the way they are, and they were honest about it, then yeah, I mean, it just comes down to you should not mock your customers when they have a concern. Yes. That's what I'm saying, and that was indicative of a problem at Blizzard at the time. It was yes. My goodness. Peaks, thank you for gifting that subscription. My goodness. A muscle wizard, you say? Yeah. Let me see. What was it? It was I think it yes. Here we go.
Hi there, Xantia from Kieran Tor. I love what you guys done with Total Crest.
This is 2010.
I love the fact that you have a lot of very strong female characters. However, I was wondering if we could have some that don't look like they've stepped out of a Victoria's Secret's catalog.
You notice that half of them cheered? Like, the ladies cheered, and then the guys booed. It was hilarious. So it was kind of half and half at the panel. Like, you got cheers and boos.
What do you mean? Wait. Which catalog would you like them to step out of?
See, she doesn't have any way to respond to that because She's just been mocked. Instead of them giving an honest answer, like, an honest answer would be, look, we're comfortable with our current outfits for our characters, right? Which would be fine. Like, I would be A-okay with that. Like, if they had said that, but they mocked her just now.
Could you see Sylvanas looking any other way? Right. So we feel you, and we want to vary our female characters, absolutely. So yeah, we'll pick different catalogs.
See, she's like, I mean, never meet your heroes, right? That's what it comes down to. You will say her question was dripping with sarcasm. I mean, like, yeah. But really, like, again, like, I don't have a problem with the company just flat out stating, it's like Yoko Taro. Okay, so for those who are wondering about Nier Automata, Nier Automata is a game that features battle androids. I think Nier Automata is like the best game of its year. People will say, well, Persona 5 came out. Well, I'm talking about in terms of storytelling. Persona 5 isn't even close. Persona 5 is nuts. Nier Automata tells an interesting story about the futility of the human condition and about our the concepts. I just go watch my video on it. I'm not ready to speak on it again. Anyway, point is that you get a certain someone named Yoko Taro who was asked, quote unquote, why do your female battle androids have high heels and skirts? And his reply was, I like pretty girls. That was his response. Some people went, but really, it was honest. That is exact. Like, he very specifically answered the question, and of course, yeah, simple, plain, and honest. That's what I'm saying. This was disingenuous. This was, we'll use different catalogs. As far as that, I'm not saying that she was right in terms of that she should be able to dictate what outfits the characters wear, because those are NPCs which are part of someone else's story. That like, she gets to see Warcraft characters that are not her own from an external standpoint, right? She is not the writer of those characters. So unless she has a better idea and is willing to explain it to them, they're under no obligation to follow it. Kind of like how I'm going to be approaching all of Elder Scrolls Online, and ZeniMax Online Studios has absolutely no obligation to even watch my video, let alone pay attention to what's in it. It's the same deal. However, it would be in bad taste for an Elder Scrolls Online developer to publicly mock it online. You said the look of the character should conform to their narrative purpose. Yes, but ultimately within the stylistic choices of the developers. Period. So, yes. Anyway. Yeah, well, playing to the crowd isn't quite what they're on blast here for. The man who said that, by the way, doesn't work for the company anymore for a reason. My goodness. All right. Let's see here. Anyway.
Hey, Alex, what catalog is that Tauren female coming out of?
Not one you'd read.
Yeah, sexy cow business.
There you go. So, as you can see, jackassery. 2010 is not. Again, I have nothing against characters with skimpy armor. I do, on the other hand, have a problem with them making fun of a lady who had an honest question. You know, you should have answered the question honestly. Look, currently we have no intention of changing our designs. However, that is subject to change. That's pretty much it. Or, you know, for future characters, we'll look at new character designs. However, we're looking to retain the old look of the old characters. Something like that. It's, you know, there's a lot of interesting ways you could approach this. You said Blizzard has always made fun of their fans. Don't you guys have phones? Oh, you don't know? Wait. You don't know. Oh, that's sad. Okay. Tinfoil hat. Give me a second here. Let me. What do we got? Tinfoil hat. So the WoW Armory pissed off a bunch of people. I'm finding it right now because people wanted to have their character stats, skills, and gear, you know, their talent choices, all of it hidden. They wanted to just be able to play their character without having, you know, raid leaders basically looking at their armory profile and saying, you're not suitable for this. Like, they didn't want people looking into their business, basically. And so we ended up with this here. So yeah, they went, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you, introducing the tinfoil hat. So let me see here. All right, so the idea is you would craft the tinfoil hat here. And it required 99 tin bars, fused wiring, star rubies, you know. But then you'd wear it, and it would make your character completely hidden. Are you serious? The other player said. And he replied with, stop invading my privacy. So, yeah, it's, let me see here. Hold on. Checking right now. Yeah, I don't see it. Oh, well. Point is that they've been making fun of their fans for a while. And that someone thought that was, you know, in good taste because, again, they are not part of they are not part of this you know, a cold clinical sort of corporate culture. The 2010 Blizzard is based off of the 2004, 2005 Blizzard that I knew, where they were, they had kind of a frat boy culture, but they were good. They were good intentioned, right? They knew their limits. They if someone was uncomfortable, they went ahead and they respected that particular person's limits. Didn't like cubicle crawling wasn't a thing. But you can see how that foundation, where your leadership are kind of pushovers, and you give people egos, like gigantic egos based on their working in the best company, being in leadership. Like you basically make them rock stars from nerds, and you can see how giving them power might result in some bad stuff happening. It had to do with the rapid hiring and the lack of oversight. You know what they say about power? Power reveals. So, someone, let's put it like this. Someone who has power over others will do what they've always wanted to do before they were restricted by lack of said power. You said they didn't mature much. Exactly. It's the idea that their corporate culture never really matured. Like Activision placed more restrictions on them, and things of that nature, but management was interesting for sure. Hold on. You're talking about Legend of the Seeker? Legend of the Seeker was an amazing series that I enjoyed. It was Hercules and Xena. It was a continuation of Hercules and Xena. You need to disregard the Sword of Truth novels in order to enjoy that's basically it. Sorry. We said power, much like alcohol, doesn't change a person. It just makes things come to the surface. Yes and no. How do I put this? Power can be tempered with restraint. Alcohol, on the other hand, destroys restraint utterly. There's a bit of a difference. You wanted to see more Hercules and Xena? Yes. I mean, that's more or less what I was getting at. Oh, look at that. The eyeball. Hello?
Len, Ian.
What are you doing?
I'm exploring the sewers. I've never been so far. I'd much rather explore outside, but I can't because there were dogs and scary people of the Elysian Order.
Where are your parents?
You mean my mother? My mother is dead. She was hanged by the Elysian Order. But I'm not lonely anymore. I have Mary and a lot of brothers.
Yeah, this was a human. We're going to release Mary from her curse. Eventually. Yep. My goodness. But yeah, what happened to Blizzard is a very interesting thing, because I had no idea a lot of these issues were going on. I understood the frat boy kind of mentality that Blizzard had. But again, it wasn't malicious at the time. But you give bad actors enough time, and they'll corrupt anything, I suppose. Gardener's house. We missed something here. Let's see. Yes, I know. I know Mary is naked. Ooh. Okay. Gardener's house. That requires a key. This leads you into the Imperial City. But we don't have the key for it right now. We're just gathering stuff up from this area. Again, as long as Mary's nudity isn't the focus of the stream, it'll be fine. This is what people don't really understand, and they a lot because they just can't quite comprehend the notion that nudity in games isn't terrible as long as it's not explicit. And that's the main issue with Twitch most of the time, is someone will sit there and they'll ogle a female character, and you wonder why. You wonder why they get their streams taken down or dealt with. You know, it's like you get a ban. Why? Well, because you were making the sexual bits the focus of the stream. Turns out you can't do that. All right. Well, we finished the sewers there. I mean, I'd never be able to stream Daggerfall ever if that were the case. Here we go. Ah, got another chest here. So I think we finished all the side dungeons. We just need to rotate around the Imperial City again and grab the end. Yes. We can't get to what we need from here. That is a problem. Let me see. What we got? Yeah, we just got to go around the Imperial City there. Several Renaissance artworks have nudity. Yes, they do. But they've made it clear, like, oh, hold on. Sorry. As I was saying, there are a lot of people who misunderstand nudity in games. It's like, yes, games have nudity. What about it? Oh, you're going out of your way to focus on that particular spot. Well, yeah, you're banned. All right. Let's see here. You can reasonably look away after combat is done. You can reasonably, you know, avoid focusing the camera on it for long periods of time. Wow, look at that Elysian Knight. Fell through the ground. That's pretty funny. I know why that happened, I just think it's hilarious. But yeah, it's kind of funny when someone is basically perving on a character. A character in a video game, and they wonder why Twitch takes action against them. But I did that, like, other people have naked characters, and it's fine for them. Like, yeah, but they're only flashing it, you know, briefly as a result of playing the game. Yes. Ooh. She's not your waifu? Oh my goodness. Ain't that the truth? Yes. The Elysian Order believes in that they are the Elysian Order believes in a one true God, Shazar, the creator god of mankind, and their prophet, their savior, it was Alicia, Saint Alicia. Let me see here. Yes, the Elysian... No. The Elysian Empire is not the same as the Elysian Order. The Elysian Order overthrew the Elysian Empire, took control of it. And they were monotheists. Yes, the 8 divines became saints. Let's see here. I could have sworn this was the way I was supposed to go. The Empire came first, yes. And the Elysian Order went and usurped their authority. Because their prophet, their leader, an Imga, that is a Valenwood monkey man, had this notion of the creator god of mankind being the single true god. A monkey man from Valenwood, an Imga. They culturally copied the Altmer for a while. That was the Chapel of Arche. Let's go check it out. Let's see if she's here with her family. I'm curious. See what happened to her. She should be here. There she is.
Thanks to you, I was able to meet my family again. I can't thank you enough.
What will you do now?
I think I'll stay here for a while. I want to remember them for a bit longer.
Okay. That's fine. She's gonna do that. Oh. Sovngarde was mostly a mistake unless they wanted to make it grand. Unless they wanted to put the time and effort into it, which they didn't. So it comes off as bad, and in which case they shouldn't have included it at all, in my opinion. Yes, but during the War of Righteousness, the Elysian Order was utterly defeated, allowing the local religions to reclaim their allowing the local peoples to reclaim their religions. Not Cold Harbor I need to go to. I need to go down. Down to the depths. Be through here. Beggar's Way. Yeah, the War of Righteousness was basically the Crusades on steroids. But they lost. Almost. Crossing the bridge, climbing up here. We gotta go. We gotta go meet Cadwell. Hey, Cadwell, how's it going? Song for me, please.
Shazar returns from the frost of icy Atmora, announcing a new age. Shazar returns with a roar of Eastmere, bringing a storm to drench the jungle. Shazar returns to plunge a sword into the snake to reclaim the empty throne.
Kill that Akatosh / Ariel.
Shazar returns.
Got it. He's a vendor. He sells food, medical solution, basic stuff. Yep. Not a big deal. Sell this iron sword and this steel club. Just get rid of it. He's not trying to be the same voice actor. There's no attempt. So no, he's not discount anything. He's a madman. That's by design. Hey Pepe, how you doing?
You're finally here. What kept you so long? There's nothing worth stopping for in this wasteland. You're a right lazy one. Even an old man like myself managed to overtake you.
Tell me about this dock.
Originally, it was used to transport criminals and other goods. Workers and beggars settled around and gradually built a large city. Elysians burned this town many times out of fear of the plague, but it always started rebuilding the very next day. The Elysian Order finally gave up, and even granted the city some autonomy. Ironically, the Thrashing Plague broke out here in the following year.
What happened then?
The people here had no chance escaping the plague. Mountains of corpses clogged the sewer, and Lake Rumar was filled with blood and decayed flesh. Then, they started burning corpses every day. I remember it like yesterday.
Where's the sewer lead?
To the prison tower. It's a place where people who fought against Elysians were imprisoned. Beware of the leech monsters along the way. They are rampant here, and far worse than the people in the slums.
Tell me about the leech monsters.
You must have seen people infested with the leeches on your way here. Whatever remains of them ends up here. Some call them Mary's children. The Elysians burned her on the pyre for, supposedly, being a witch. Some say she consorted with the Morlake Ball and gave birth to those monsters.
And Mary?
The Masters called her Mara. Mara. The name of one of Anuiel's damned usurpers.
Ah, yes. So basically, the Aedra are evil. Only Shazar, the creator god, is the true god. The others are usurpers sent to fool the people into thinking that they are the real gods. But when they find Shazar, the missing god, then the world can be complete again.